Party peoples of the interwebs, I wasn't going to do a vlog today, but as I was doom scrolling through Twitter, I came across a video clip of Tampon Tim, and I said to myself, if this video clip hasn't already gone sufficiently viral, I will make sure to do my utmost to make it go sufficiently viral. I go into the living room and I show it to my wife, and my wife is pretty chill. My wife is pretty relaxed. She's the yin to my yang. And I show her the clip, and she looks at me and she says, Viva, although she says, David, I know what you've got to do right now. Go to the car and do it. I'm in the car and doing it. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida Rumbler, in my home office. Have you seen this clip? Tampon Tim on stage accusing Elon Musk of bouncing around on stage like a dipshit, and I'm quoting him verbatim.
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it.
Because if this is not the soundbite to end the Kamala Harris campaign, it's only because there have been two other equally bad, if not worse, soundbites within the last week and a half. One being Kamala Harris telling the God-fearing, God-loving attendees of her rally who had said, Jesus is Lord. She says to them sassily, oh, you're at the wrong rally. You God-fearing, God-loving people have no place at these rallies. You want to go to the other rally down the street, the smaller one, because it's Trump who's infatuated with crowd size.
You guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
If it's not that soundbite, it might also be Kamala Harris screaming like a cackling lunatic.
Should never again have the privilege of standing behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again.
Never again. Can we let Donald Trump get to the White? Never again. Crazy, awful sound bites. But this soundbite, I think, is the worst in my humble opinion, because it really highlights the hypocrisy on so many levels of the Democrat Party and the Kamala Harris campaign in particular. Tampon Tim, no walls, a balls, walls, whatever the heck, I screwed it up there. You know who I'm talking about. Tampon Tim is up on stage at one of the rallies today and talks about Elon Musk bouncing around on stage like a dipshit. These are the words that came out of Tampon Tim's mouth. This is the party that for the last decade or so has been criticizing Trump for his inappropriate language, his vulgar language, his mean tweets that make him undignified of being president again, that made him undignified of being president in the first place. They went after Trump day and night for his mean tweets, for unpresidential discourse, alleged. And I say, I'm not one to take issue with this at all. I don't mind it. I don't mind swearing. I would prefer crassness that is honest than dishonest politeness. Or polite dishonesty, I should say. I don't mind it. But I appreciate that there are some people that do mind it. That being said, I loathe the hypocrisy of this party to say Donald Trump is unbecoming of the president's office because of the language he uses. And now you got Tampon Tim up there accusing Elon Musk of bouncing around like a dipshit. These people have no standards, and it is a question of not hierarchy, not double standards, lawlessness. They want to be able to get away with doing exactly what they will hold someone else's feet to the fire. So there's that element of the hypocrisy to Tampon Tim fouling up the stage with his dirty mouth. That's one. Number two, do you remember when people made fun of Tampon Tim's kid at the DNC? Where the kid was crying, saying, that's my dad, going on stage, and the internet went wild. I thought it was inappropriate at the time just because the kid is a kid, and I don't believe in going after the politicians' kids, whether it's Barron Trump or, I forget what the kid's name is, Tim Walz's kid. It turned out, however, that the kid had a learning disability. And then the talking point of the day, if not the week, was extreme MAGA Republicans making fun of a kid with a learning disability. I don't think anybody knew the kid had a learning disability when they made fun of him, but you always have to be careful when you make fun of anybody that they don't actually have a medical condition, which would explain why it is that they are doing what it is that you're making fun of them for. I doubt anybody knew that Tim Walz's kid had a learning disability, but I don't think anybody should have been making fun of the kid in the first place. Set that aside, the internet went wild. Media went wild. All of these big, bad, right, extreme MAGA Republicans making fun of a kid with a learning disability. You all know that Elon Musk is admitted to suffer from Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism on a spectrum. That is to say that Elon Musk has, I don't know if you call it a learning disability, but has some mental condition, some diagnosable condition as relates to his mind, his brain, his behavior, his interaction with the world. That Tampon Tim is now making fun of someone with a learning disability. So I'm trying to understand the law here. What is the rule? That you can make fun of a kid who doesn't have a learning disability, or you can never make fun of a kid, period, and you can make fun of an adult that has a learning disability? Is that what the Democrats are saying? Because that's what they're doing right now. Tampon Tim doesn't get to say, oh, I didn't know that Elon Musk suffers from Asperger's syndrome. He said it publicly. Some people hypothesize that it sort of explains his demeanor, his way of interacting with the world. Some people hypothesize that it actually has an impact on the way he acts on stage in front of big crowds. I've been saying this for a while. When Elon gets up there and he does that jumping in the air thing, on the one hand, I said a while back, he might just be awkwardly trying to do the X. And he's a little bit awkward. He's a socially awkward adult. Nothing wrong with that. It's a silly thing to make fun of. The other reality is that it might be related to his Asperger's syndrome. And the way he acts on stage might be medically explained by a learning disability, intellectual disorder, if you want to call it that. And Tampon Tim is now making fun of someone for the way they behave when they suffer from Asperger's syndrome condition. That doesn't just make Tampon Tim a hypocrite. That makes him a very, very vile human being. So congratulations. In addition to the vile language, you have now entered the realm of the vile mocking of people with learning disabilities, if that's what you want to call Asperger's syndrome. Some might actually call it, in some respects, a superpower. But they are making fun of someone who suffers from Asperger's syndrome, where his physical demeanor on stage is likely influenced or impacted by that. So congratulations. That is the second of the three elements of hypocrisy in all of this. The number third, that's terrible. The third one of it all, Tampon Tim is the one who bounces around on stage like a jackass. I'll show you the montage that I made at the end of this video. Tampon Tim is the one who gets up there, does that freakish leg kick like he's a can-can dancer. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He does it like he's a magician doing his grand finale, pointing at the stage, bowing. I don't know what the hell Tampon Tim is doing on stage, but it's all out there. And the balls of this guy to come up, use foul language, make fun of someone who suffers from Asperger's syndrome, and then accuse them of doing what this freak has been doing on stage since he was appointed the vice presidential candidate. My goodness, I mean, it's the lack of introspection that comes with being a haughty, arrogant, virtue-signaling prick. Because that's what Tampon Tim is. That's what Kamala Harris is. I would say that's almost what defines the capital D Democrat political party. Not good lower D Democrat Americans. Not people who believe in certain policies of the Democrat Party, but the party itself is defined by the utmost of hypocrisy, virtue signaling, and double standards. And I say double standards, lawlessness. Tampon Tim getting out there and accusing anybody else on this green or blue earth of bouncing around like a dipshit. Tampon Tim, meet kettle. Although, I guess, I don't know if Elon Musk ever accused Tampon Tim of bouncing around like a dipshit, but everyone else did. Pot, meet kettle, people in glass houses should not throw stones, and my goodness, Tampon Tim, you lack awareness in all respects. So congratulations, you got the holy trinity of hypocrisy. This soundbite will sink the campaign in addition to all the other ones. We are seeing a meltdown of cataclysmic proportions in real time. Follow the markets, by the way. They got Trump at like 60+% favorite now. It's wild. It's what happens when you actually have nothing to run on. Because as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, who needs policy when you have Trump to hate? Well, guess what? Hatred catches up with you. And like I've been saying forever for anybody who's followed this channel, hatred is a consuming force because it compromises your judgment and it makes you act like the animal that you accuse others of being. So congratulations, Tim Walz. You've made fun of someone with a learning disorder and accused them of doing exactly what you yourself do. And if you had any doubts, wait. Before I even get there, make sure that you have liked, shared, subscribed, and turned notifications on. And while you're down there, drop a comment. It takes 3 seconds and it's free. Go ahead and do it. But before I get to the montage, if you want to support the channel, Viva Frei, you get some merch. You want to join our wonderful above-average law community, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. I say more important than anything, exercise, eat healthy, sunlight, and talk to people in real life. And now you know your vlog and appreciate the perfect culmination, illustration, juxtaposition of hypocrisy and accusing your adversaries of doing what you are doing. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it.